warm red, yellow, greenish. And now that will add also light inside this corridor, right? So we have two light sources competing with each other. So now we go back to the apple. Let's add the apple right in the middle of the corridor, right? Here's the apple. In the corridor, there's the torch and the moonlight from the window. So we can start by making the apple our classic red, just to not get too confused, because the apple is red, right? In our head. Now let's think. The main color here, well, let's add a bit more torch, right? The torch will have a strong, like a spotlight. Its surrounding will be affected by the torch. As you can see, right? But it's not necessarily a strong light in this scene, in this scenario. So here, the main color, which is dominant, is the nighttime, the blue. So we're gonna make this apple blue. So this, without the fire, it would just be like this, right? With probably a little highlight. Oh, a little highlight from the moon, because the moon is also a light source. So it'd probably be like this all around. And there would be a shadow casted, because the apple is blocking some light beams. So the apple is also getting a shadow from the moon. But now we have this fire right here as a light source, straight up blasting onto the apple. Hadouken! So the apple also receives this light, which is a bright light. So it will be a bright reflection, but not big enough to make the whole apple orange or red because of the fire. So what you end up with will be a bit like this. But the fire also casts a shadow. So you get like a double shadow, which makes this part the most prevalent as far as shadow goes. The moon is bay. I hope that makes a little bit sense. So using only color, we made a little scene, right? And then you can go deep and be like, okay, let's make everything a bit more detailed. But I think it's important to realize the distance that the fire travels in this case, which is not that far. So the shadows it also casts very close shadows in this case, like the door, right? Because it's a strong light, but it's close by. The apple. Yeah. Now we use that. Let's go back to the 50. So you see when the shape changes, you can just use the light source to kind of make the art, right? As